Yeah.
So now getting back into your collegiate career, your upperclassmen years, you were really one of the better players in the MAC conference, no debating. Top 20 in plenty statistical categories, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, points per game, assists per game, and even getting after it on the defensive side with your steals per game. What do you think got you to that level, being one of the better players in your conference, and kept you at that level as you're rounding out your collegiate career?
I mean, my thing is when I showed up in college, I knew I wasn't there to BS. I wasn't there for the partying and all that kind of stuff. Like in my whole college, the 4 years I was in college, I probably went to one party. Like I wasn't there for none of that. Like when we went on the road and all that kind of stuff, I was getting the laptops from the athletic department or whatever, and I was going on the road with my laptop. I was maintaining my 3.4, 3.5 GPA and all that kind of stuff. When some of these other dudes was joking around, they thought it was cool to have a 1.8 and just barely be eligible, or a 2.0 and all that kind of stuff, or they thought it was. And I was grateful that I was always in the know where I didn't have to chase certain stuff. So some of these dudes don't come from having girls and all that kind of stuff, or having people checking you out and all that kind of stuff. So some people may have had to do different things to be able to stay in that mix, but I was able to just be me and just do my thing and just work hard and stuff like that, and it was just what it was. You know what I'm saying? People knew that. Like even one of my coaches, he used to always ask people, why can't you be more like Jamar and all that kind of stuff or whatever? And I used to have to tell him, like, yo, you got to chill with that. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know how people looking into that. Like working hard is working hard, and I'm here to show up and with my briefcase and do what I got to do. But maybe that's their version of working hard or whatever. But you got to take that up with them. But don't put me in the middle of that. And I think that towards the tail end of my college career, people look back at it, and it was kind of something that they didn't look at. I wouldn't say with jealousy, but it was almost like it was us against me, them against me, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Because I carry myself this way, and I wasn't about no bullshit, no cutting up and all that kind of stuff. But even with the team and stuff that we had in college, we could have went crazy in college. We didn't know what we had in college and all that. And that's one experience I wish I could live over and all that kind of stuff, because I wish I would have done more about getting people on the same page with me. You know what I mean? I was going to ask you that. Obviously, being in the conference that you were in, it's tough getting to the tournament. You got to win the league to get there. Obviously, anybody would wish that they made it to the dance. Was there any year during your career that you thought, man, this is the year that we should be able to take it? Well, my freshman year, they had just won the conference. Right. The thing is, that summer when I was going to the school, the head coach was supposed to get a raise, and he had asked for a raise for winning or whatever, and asked him to renegotiate his contract. Instead of renegotiating his contract, they fired him. Wow. So I never even got a chance to play under Fiore. So the dude that for the dude that recruited you? The dude that I signed, well, the assistant coach stayed. The assistant coach, who pretty much was the point person or whatever, he stayed, Coach Casey. Coach Casey, he was my guy. Coach Casey was one of the reasons why I stayed sharp and stuff like that when I was in college, because he was a super high energy guy. If you wanted to work out at any particular time, Coach Casey was your guy. He would work out now, he would work out later, he would work out whenever, you know what I mean? And he would be there to rebound and pass me, and I loved it. You know, when I was there, I wasn't there to, like I told you, I wasn't there to do nothing else. I was there to go to school, I was there to do practice. After practice was over, Martin was coming on at 7 o'clock. I was beelining to the dorm to go and watch Martin. And I didn't even have to worry about going to the cafeteria and all that, because my moms and all that kind of stuff always made sure I was good and all, I was taken care of. Yeah. And when I did need to go to the cafeteria, we had a card. So we would go to that cafeteria, swipe that card, and you would be right. So I just stayed out of the way when I was in school and just stayed productive. You know what I mean? Right. Got you. So, so of like any of the years? Excuse me. My senior year is when we had, senior year is when we lost in the conference championship to go. We lost to Siena. Siena was good. You know what I'm saying? But if any year that we was going to win, it was going to be that year, because even before the conference tournament started, I was supposed to be done for the whole season. I tore my meniscus, and I strained my wrist. I had to take cortisone shots in my wrist, and my meniscus. I used to have to do triple therapies so I can get back on the court. I used to have to do I say triple therapy. I used to have to do therapy in the morning, in the afternoon, and then do therapy at night. I used to have to do therapy at the Kessler Institute. Like for I had my shoulder was messed up, my wrist was messed up, and my knee all on one play. We was playing against Niagara, and it was nip and tuck game. Niagara was tough, and they went to throw the ball back to me or whatever, and I was going to take off the dunk, and one of the dudes on the other team low bridged me, and when he low bridged me, I came down like this, and I came down bang on the wrist. My feet was up here, came down, my leg boom, and that's how I tore my meniscus, and my shoulder was just whatever. So then I tried not to come out of the game. I stayed in the game. I tried to shoot. When I went to shoot, yo, this shot went like in between like the free throw line and the basket. It was like horrible. And I told my coach, don't take me out. Don't take me out the game. So I played like the whole rest of the game like left-handed, like, you know what I'm saying? And then after the game, crazy. I always had crazy. My brother ran down on the dude. I remember that vividly. My brother ran down on the dude and all that because it was almost like he did that on purpose. When I got back to my dorm room and all that kind of stuff, we went to go check out some girls and all that kind of stuff in the building next door and all of that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm just sitting there. My knee was just swelling up like crazy. And I'm like, in like the next 5 minutes, I couldn't walk. I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't even open my eyes. It was so bad. And I called my moms. I told my moms, something happened. I need y'all to come out here. They need to take me to the hospital. They came and took me to the hospital. And I tore my meniscus. My wrist was twisted and all that. And I was supposed to be done for the season. So I asked them what I could do to be able to get back on pace so I can play. In the conference tournament. Because I was like, the conference tournament was like a month away.
Right.
And I was a senior.
Right.
So I did triple my therapies and all that kind of stuff. And the first game before the conference tournament that I came back was against Iona. Played against Iona, did great. We beat them and all that kind of stuff. But then after the game, my knee was crazy. I come out looking like Patrick Ewing with the big ice pack on my knee and all that. It was bad, but I did what I had to do to get back on the court. And then that conference tournament, I wound up averaging 28 in the tournament. At least maybe 26 in the tournament. But I know the first game we played against Niagara, which was the home team, they had Alvin, I forget Alvin's name, but he was from Brooklyn. He was the leading scorer in the country.
All right.
Knocked them off. First game, they was the home team, knocked them off. I had like 4 in the first half because I was still laboring over my leg. I was scared to jump and all that kind of stuff. Second half, I went off for 24. Next game, it was kind of similar. I was sore when this game started because you only get a couple hours in between games or whatever. So I was sore. First half, I kind of played okay. Second half, I went off for like 26. Went crazy, and then that next game is when we got Siena. That whole 2 days before the game, I'm doing all kind of press and all that kind of stuff about my cousin. Like the story was deep if we would have won, so I was really gunning for it and all that kind of stuff. And I think that when we played in that championship game, I overcompensated because I wanted it that bad because I saw everything right there. Because it was like after we won the championship, you know how like after you see somebody win a championship and then like 5 minutes later you get all the world champion, it's like, and you be thinking like, yo, how they know?
Yeah.
It's like they just press the button and they just say that if it happens, it happens, and we gonna roll out this whole campaign and it's gonna get stupid for you. Or if it don't happen, sorry.
Yeah.
And it ain't happened. We lost and all that kind of stuff, and it ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Damn, man. So now,
but all goodbyes ain't gone because everything worked out the way it needed to work out, and I was grateful that my family was out there with me. I believe we was in Buffalo or whatever, but my family was gung-ho. They would always travel, always had like 10 people with us.
Yeah.
And even now, when I look back at the game and I look back at that tournament, my pops was there too. Like to get, like, you know, like if you knew to get my pops to Buffalo to the tournament and all that kind of stuff, that was almost as if people knew that he wouldn't be around long. And at that moment was needed. Because you could even look back at the game, and I got my pops cheering in Buffalo. I already told you my pops don't really show up into the championship game, and even ironically, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He found a way to get himself to the championship game. You know what I mean?
That's real. That's real.